It's when you think right, speak right, and do right, things will flow right for you to optimize your financial health. And when I say things will flow right, I mean not just money, but your opportunities, your relationships, and just their favor, from God will just flow where things just happen to work out for you because, you're thinking right, speaking right, and doing right.
Welcome to another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive differences they are making in the world. Program for Financial Mastery. She's the best-selling, hot new release author of the Financial Cures book series. She is the producer and host of the award-winning global streaming production of Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy Labat, the TV show. She's an award-winning entrepreneur, business strategist, and international speaker. She empowers thousands of entrepreneurs, corporate executives, and individuals to ease the pain of inflation, overcome anorexic income, obese debt, spending addictions, mindset, and knowledge deficiencies, as well as other financial ills, to take control of their finances, become financially free, create generational wealth, and live the life they desire. But what I am most excited about is that I have watched this woman get some really cool stuff and experiences for free. So I can't wait to have her share how she does it with you. My name is Melanie McSally, your host for today's episode. And without further ado, I would like to welcome the beautiful, the talented, the wise Dr. Wendy Labat. Dr. Wendy comes to us from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, Melanie. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about the 3 ways to buy what you want and need without spending your own money. Things are pretty tough nowadays with inflation. So I want to help people ease that pain of inflation. So I'm excited about that and sharing, some of the tips that I have.
Yes, I am excited for that too. And I know our listeners will enjoy learning your tips as well. So tell me, why are you known as the financial healer?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about my backstory. I started my entrepreneurial journey, I guess almost 4 decades ago. I can't believe I'm saying 4 decades, but I didn't have any business experience and very limited financial resources. And this was a time there was no internet or social media. And the only thing you do with the cell phone was make an expensive phone call. So I ended up, servicing major corporations and government agencies. I had an office equipment company. And that meant I had to have a brick and mortar, employees, carry inventory and all the overhead that goes with it. And, that overhead kicked in, had to be paid every month, whether the money was flowing or not. And being a rookie entrepreneur, at first the money wasn't flowing. But eventually, I got the hang of things. I kind of learned about business from the School of Hard Knocks. I got my PhD from the School of Hard Knocks. And that was okay because I learned things, the hard way. But I did eventually get a mentor that kind of, guided me along the way. Now, in 2014, when the government mandated that everybody have health insurance, I expanded my business to include insurance and financial services. So I ended up buying all the products and services that I was selling to my clients because people were asking me, well, what do you have? Where's your money? And I could honestly say what I had and where my money was. In 2017, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. So I chose an aggressive form of treatment, to kick cancer in the butt. So that meant chemotherapy every 3 weeks for a year, 5 surgeries, CAT scans, PET scans, prescriptions, all kind of tests that, continually, going to the hospital and doctors. But anyway, the bills amounted to almost $1.5 million. And thank God I practiced what I preach, because my health insurance paid all of that. And all the supplemental coverages that I bought that I never thought I'd have to use ended up paying me multiple 6-figure tax-free financial shots in the arm, which allowed me to focus on my recovery without worrying about money. So when I finally became cancer-free, I'm like, Lord, thank you. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm in my comfort zone. I am good. And he said, no, I took you through this journey and brought you out better on the other side, because you're going to go on a crusade to empower other people to not let an illness or injury ruin them financially. You're going to teach people how to take control of their finances, become financially free, build generational wealth, and live the life they desire. So that's why I'm here. I'm on my crusade, and it's been good, and that's how I became the financial healer. And my program is the Financial Cure System. And so far, so good. I've empowered thousands of people, entrepreneurs, business owners, executives, and individuals to be able to, take control of their finances and come out better than what they were.
Wow, what an amazing and inspirational story of triumph, Dr. Wendy. I love that you practice what you preach. With that in mind, what's the first step people need to take to start buying what they need without spending their own money?
Well, the first step, I would say, is unlocking that millionaire mindset. And in order to do that, you have to, become disciplined, which means that you choose what you want more over what you want now. And when you think that way, as you know, most millionaires, they're kind of frugal people. They don't go out just spending, willy-nilly. And when they get things, they're usually getting things at somebody else's expense. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, somebody else is paying, or some other source is paying the price. And that's what I'm, talking about with this program. You position yourself first by thinking right. And then you have other, tools to be able to work.
Got it. So have a millionaire mindset, basically thinking more about long-term payoffs over instant gratification. Awesome. So what tools are necessary and how do you use them?
Okay, those tools are rewards points, loyalty programs, with debit cards, credit cards, store rewards programs. You want to, whatever you do on a daily basis, you want to be involved in the rewards program, because they all have them, credit cards, even debit cards. If you're paying your bills every month, you want to use a card, whether it's a debit or a credit, that gives you rewards, that rewards you for using their, financial institution. But be careful with the credit cards. Like I said, that's where the discipline comes in. You have to be disciplined. If you're going to pay your bills on a credit card, which I do every month, the ones that I can, I pay that off before, when the bill comes. So I'm not paying interest on it. I'm not accumulating the debt. I'm basically accumulating the rewards and the points. And that's what you want to do. So you have to, look at everything you do. I don't care what store you go into, what you order online. Everybody has a rewards or loyalty program. So take advantage of that, because it pays off. If you don't, you're leaving money on the table.
Cool. So using credit cards as a strategy rather than an extension of your available income, so that you can get the points and use them at a future date. What great advice. What are some examples of how this has worked for you?
Work. And like I said, I am a person that practices what she preaches. So my first or latest project, we're remodeling my husband's man cave downstairs. We're redoing his whole living area, the kitchen, and the bathroom. So, I was able to get the vanity for the bathroom, get the cabinets for the kitchen, a new dishwasher, which I put in my kitchen. I gave him my dishwasher, but still, it was based on using my points and things. We got all new hardwood flooring, just paint that, I couldn't believe the paint was, normally $199 for a 5-gallon jug, which we got for $50. But like I said, again, we didn't have to pay for it with our money. We used the points that we accumulated from our credit cards. So, when you look at that, we save thousands of dollars just on the materials for this project. So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. We went out to California, I guess a couple years ago, flew first class from Atlanta to California, which was nice. It wasn't a first class seat. It was a first class suite where you have your own little cubicle and you lay back. They serve you food on real plates. It's not this paper plate or, give you a little snack kind of thing. And, when you fly for 3 or 4 hours, that kind of environment is pretty good. But it didn't cost us any money other than the processing fee, which I think was like $30 or something per ticket. So those tickets would have cost us, I think, maybe about $2,500 each round trip. But because we used our Sky Miles, it didn't cost us anything but the processing fee. When we got to our destination, we're big Marriott fans, and we've got, we're at the top level with the chairman with our timeshare, and we're at the titanium level with the hotel. So when we check in, at the lower end is the reservation, we get upgraded to a suite, and it's pretty nice. So I have to say, and it doesn't cost, we're not using our money. So that's the key. And the way things are with inflation, people are struggling. Milk and eggs and groceries in general are sky high. But if you can use points or get coupons where you're getting freebies, I mean, it takes some of that pain. It eases some of that pain of inflation. So, that's what I do. And that's what, that's how we live and that's how we roll. So, you can live VIP life, but you don't have to spend your own money doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of you on social media in a Rolls Royce, flying in luxury with designer handbags. I mean, I've seen other people travel for free, but what I love about you is that you teach us how to accomplish projects and buying necessities as well as luxuries with other people's money. That's awesome. Or rather, without spending your own, I should say. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
Okay, my final thought is a quote that I coined myself. It's when you think right, speak right, and do right, things will flow right for you to optimize your financial health. And when I say things will flow right, I mean not just money, but your opportunities, your relationships, and just their favor, from God will just flow where things just happen to work out for you because, you're thinking right, speaking right, and doing right. So that's my final thought.
I love that quote. We get what we think most about, so why not think abundantly and allow things to flow to us instead of creating this current that they have to work against. Thank you, Dr. Wendy. I often think I want to live Dr. Wendy's life. How can we learn more from you? How can our listeners get started living like Dr. Wendy?
Is to take advantage of my spending challenge. This way you can find money that you didn't even know you had. You can redirect money that you're spending on, like eating out and doing things that you don't have to do and spend money. And, you can use that to pay off debt, to reduce expenses, build up your, cash reserves. I had one client, I give all my clients a 30-day spending challenge. And he said, Wendy, I took that spending challenge and I spent $600 last month eating out. So, he's a businessman. I said, okay, so you took your clients out? And he's like, no, this is just me and my wife. And sometimes we take the grandkids. And it wasn't that he couldn't afford it, but it was an aha moment for him to say, Dad, $600, I could have done a few things like pay a utility bill or a couple utility bills or build my cash reserve. There are a number of things that money could have been redirected to have better use of it. So those are the kind of things. And if you do it for 7 days, you can kind of get the hang of it, and you may want to stick with it because you'll see that you're spending money in areas that you really don't realize until you start calculating up, and that money can be redirected for better use. I'll tell you this one more example of a client. I was on her podcast, and she took the spending challenge, and after 30 days she called me up. She said, Wendy, I did that spending challenge, and my husband and I spent $3,000 eating out last month. I'm like, $3,000? Good Lord. You can pay a house note, a car note, utilities. You can do a few things. Some people don't even make $3,000 a month. So it was an eye opener for them as well. Not that they couldn't afford to, but even if you can afford to, when you start seeing you're spending that kind of money eating out, and the only thing you got to show for it, a few extra pounds, you want to transform, unlock that millionaire mindset. So those are some of the things that I, do in the financial cures. So we'll put the link for you to take advantage of that 7-day spending challenge. Tells you how to do it, and you do it at your own leisure. But the longer you do it, the more money you'll realize you're spending in areas that may not be where you need to be spending them. So thank you, Melanie, for having me, and I appreciate it. And I hope your listeners got something out of this. Thank you so much.
Love it. Awareness is the first step, right? Well, folks, if you want to know how to spend other people's money, I mean, if you want to buy things without spending your own money, if you want to live like Dr. Wendy, I suggest you take advantage of her 7-day spending challenge. The link will be on the screen and in the description below. Once again, thank you, Dr. Wendy. It has been such a pleasure having you here today, listening to your wisdom and experiencing your passion for helping people live the VIP lifestyle without spending their own money. That is just the cherry on top. I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard here today, please do like, share, and comment. We are trying to get WyzeCast to be a hot new release. So if you feel inspired, if you felt moved, if you felt called, if we earned it, please do like, share, and comment. It is free for you to do so. It really helps the podcast grow, and we really do love your engagement. This was another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates the voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive difference they're making in the world. If you want to learn more about WyzeCast, you can visit our website at WyzeCast.com. We drop 10 episodes every month on the 21st, so you can binge watch or spread them out over the month, whatever suits your mood and lifestyle. Once again, my name is Melanie. It has been my pleasure being your host today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your engagement. And I invite you to come back and join me once again for our next episode of WyzeCast.